In the shlokas covered in the previous video, that is the 30th video, where we covered 13 to 18 shlokas of chapter 4, Lord Krishna declares that he created the fourfold Varna system. Further, he tells Arjuna that it is important for him to know what is action, inaction, and prohibited action. Elaborating on the same, the Lord says that the person who sees inaction in action and vice versa is wise. When this wise person is in communion with the Supreme, although he is not involved in action, he is understood to be performing all actions. The Lord further enlightens us on various aspects of selfless action and the nature of karma in the subsequent slokas that we would cover in today's video. Yasya sarve samarambaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagnidagda karmanam tamahuh panditam buddhaha. Yasya sarve samarambaha kama sankalpa varjitaha. Varjitaha is devoid of what? Kama sankalpa. Kama is desire and sankalpa some motive. So we tend to do anything only with a motive. So yasya sarve kama sankalpa varjitaha. So that person whose all actions, whose every activity or initiative or undertaking is devoid of desire or motive. Okay, samarambaha. So all his actions, all his initiatives are well begun. Jnana agni dagda karmanam. That person's karma, his undertakings, his initiatives, his actions are burned to dagda is burned. So it's burned to ashes in jnana agni. All his karmanam, all his actions are dagda, burned to ashes in jnana agni. Jnana agni is the fire of pure knowledge. Tam, that person, buddhaha panditam ahuhu. That person is described as spiritually intelligent by panditam, by educated. So actions that are free from kama, desire, are referred to as samarambaha. That is, actions that are properly or rightly begun or rightly initiated. People start actions only because they have some desires to be fulfilled. Such actions, which are initiated with a certain motive in mind, with a certain desire in mind, are not properly or rightly begun. So a person who initiates action in the proper way is free from desires. That person is said to be spiritually intelligent. He's also free from karma bandana, because all the actions of such a person are detached, and hence his actions are burnt in jnana agni, in the fire of knowledge, into inaction. Such wise persons perform all actions only for the benefit of others, because they don't basically desire anything. The selfless actions of such a person is truly praiseworthy. This Pandit, he performs all actions as prescribed in the Vedas in a detached way while being cognizant of the eternal Atma. Ordinary people like us, on the other hand, we perform actions for material benefits and rewards, and therefore we get caught in the karma bandhana. So nishkama karma purifies the mind and leads us to moksha. Tva karma phala sangam nitya tripto nirashrayah karmanyabhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Karma phala sangam tyaktva. Sangam being attached. So karma phala sangam tyaktva. Tyaktva is giving up. So after giving up karma phala, that is fruits of action, nirashrayah, uninterested towards worldly things or not being dependent on anything, nitya triptaha, always satisfied, saha, that man, karmani abhivrittaha api, even when fully involved or engaged in activities, kinchit eva na karoti, he does not do anything at all. So having given up fruits of action, that spiritually inclined wise person is uninterested in worldly things, always satisfied. Even when fully engaged in work, he does not do anything at all. So what are the qualities of a Siddha Purusha? First of all, he must have no desire in the fruits of action. Second, he must be uninterested in worldly matters. Third, he must always be satisfied. Nitya triptaha. So a person with such vairagya, renunciation, contemplates on his inner self, that is Atma, and he is fully satisfied. That's why he is Nitya Triptaha, and he is in complete bliss in such a state. Even if such a person is engaged in work, because he is detached and because he does selfless work for others, he is really not doing anything at all. He is not bound by his action. Only when there are no desires, vasanas, that is craving for desires, attraction towards desires, the mind is calm, tranquil, and at peace. निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्व परिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. Yata chittatma. Chitta is mind. So controlled in mind and body. Tyakta sarva parigraha. Giving up all possessions or even proprietorship over anything. Nirashihi. Relinquishing all asha desires. Kevalam shariram karma kurvan. He performs action only to shariram karma. That is, he only to sustain the physical body. Kilbisham na apnoti. He does not incur any sin. So, bereft of desire, with complete control of mind and body, giving up all worldly possessions and sense of proprietorship, such a spiritual person incurs no sin, even if he acts only for sustenance of the physical body. So, in this shloka, like the previous one, three qualities of a Siddha Purusha are listed. Nirashihi, the person has to be desireless. The Karma Yogi has to be Yatachittatma, self-controlled. That is, he must be able to control the mind by the power of the Atma. Tyakta Sarva Parigraha. Tyakta is give up. Sarva Parigraha, he has giving up all material possessions and giving up even the craving or the vasana for those material things. Until a person lives in this world, a person should keep performing all bodily actions like a duty. When he adopts such an attitude, that is, he is nirashi, he gives up all material worldly possessions, he has no cravings. So when he has such an attitude, then no sin is incurred. The sin here refers to the disease because of the karma bandana, being caught in the bondage, or the cycle of the birth and death. In Karma Yoga, the Karma Yogi performs all prescribed duties, adopting such an attitude, and he gets moksha from this sansara. Traditionally, saints sought bhiksha to maintain their physical body. Since they are desireless, self-controlled, with no attachment towards material possession, their actions do not bring them sins, even though it is maintenance, even though it is only for the maintenance of the physical body. यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः समः सिद्धाविसिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते. यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः. Santushtaha is being satisfied, happy, content. Content with what? Yadricha labha. Yadricha without anticipating. That is, labha is gain. A karma yogi is one who is happy or content with the gains that come on its own accord. Vimatsaraha dvandva atitaha. Atitaha, he is beyond. Beyond what? He is totally devoid of Vimatsaraha, jealousy, and dvandva. Dvandva is a pair of opposites, happiness, joy, success, failure, etc. Siddhau, asiddhau, cha samaha. Samaha, he is the same. So, being the same when faced with success or failure as the outcome of the initiatives or action. Kritva api nibadhyata. So, even though acting, even though he is kritva, he is performing some action, he is not bound by the action. So, the Karma Yogi is at peace and accepts whatever that comes on its own accord. Karma Yogi is also beyond dvandva, the pair of opposites. Happiness or sorrow, joy or pain, success or failure, he is equiposed. He is beyond the dualities of the material existence. Since he is content with what comes to him, he has no jealousy also. He fully understands that due to previous karma, he gets what he deserves. The word vimatsaraha means free from malice. He does not hold others responsible for what he has got, be it good or bad. Siddhau asiddhau samaha means when faced with success or failure, he is balanced, calm, and equiposed. He doesn't exhibit extreme reactions. Lord Krishna in the shloka, he is telling us that when a karma yogi performs his prescribed duties with such an attitude, with such a mentality, then his actions don't bind him. He is free from the cycle of birth and death. Such a karma yogi may not be following the path of jnana yoga or sankhya yoga, but because he performs his duties with the right attitude, this karma yogi is liberated from the sansara. गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य sanga is bond, attachment. So one who is free from material attachment. Muktasya, one who is liberated. Jnanavastita chetasah, established in a transcendental state. Yajnaya acharatah. Yajna is sacrifice. So one who performs his duties for sacrifice. Samagram karma praviliyate. So all his samagram karma, all his karma praviliyate, they get destroyed, they get dissolved. So that person is not bound by his karma. Lord Krishna has been telling Arjuna in the previous 4 shlokas about the attitude with which a karma yogi should perform his prescribed duties. So summarizing what he has said in the previous verses, in this shloka, Lord Krishna tells that Gata Sangasya, one who is unattached, free from desires, does not seek rewards from action. Muktasya, he is free of passion, likes and dislikes. In other words, he is free of bodily vanity. Jnanavastasya chetasaha, one who is in communion with the Supreme. He is entirely engrossed in Atma Tattva. And yajnaya acharataha, he performs every duty, action in a selfless way as if it is for yajna, as if it is for sacrifice, offering it to Lord Krishna. There is no feeling that I am the doer, the action itself is offered to the Supreme Lord. A karma yogi with this attitude, with this maturity and spiritual intelligence, is never bound by his action. He is free from samsara. The consequences of his past karma and present karma are all evaporated. Such a karma yogi who performs selfless action with this attitude is not implicated by his actions. In contrast, ordinary persons like us who perform actions only for rewards, fruits of action, we are stuck in karma bandana. So we too should develop this approach to doing our prescribed duties. Brahmarpanam brahmahavihi brahmagnau brahmanahutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. Arpanam brahmam, that is the ladle which is used to make offerings in a homa, that is brahmam. Havihi brahma, the oblation, that is the ghee, seeds and other offerings made in a homa, that also is brahmam only. Brahmana brahmagnau hutam, the act of offering by the karta, and agnau, that is the agni, the sacrificial fire, that also is brahmam only. Brahma karma samadhina tena brahmayeva gantavyam. For one who sees Brahma in all his actions, in complete absorption, brahmayeva tena gantavyam, the goal for that person to be reached is also Brahmam only. So everything is Brahman. The point that Lord Krishna is conveying is that one must perform all duties with a higher consciousness, offering all actions to Brahman. All things emanate from Brahman only. That is the Supreme, and everything is contained in the Supreme. Brahmarpanam, the ladle which is used to offer, which is used to offer ghee in the yajna, and the havihi, that is the ghee and other grains offered as oblation in yajna. The agni, the sacrificial fire, and the karta, the person performing the yajna, all are Brahman only. A person who fully understands that all actions are offered to the Supreme Lord pervading all existence verily reaches the Brahman. The siddhi, the moksha that the karma yogi seeks is also Brahman. So all actions, duty performed in this consciousness are divine. They are spiritual and they lead us to our destination, which is the Brahman. So there is no need to renounce and go in the path of Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga. A karma yogi who performs his duties in this consciousness is liberated and he reaches Brahman. So as spiritual aspirants, we too must learn to perform our duties in this consciousness. To summarize, in the shlokas that we covered in this video, Lord Krishna explains the right approach of doing karma so that a person is not bound by karma bandana. Action that is free of desire and motives is well begun. Likewise, a person who is uninterested in the fruits of action, always satisfied, unattached, is verily in inaction, even if he is engaged in some action, meaning that actions do not bind the person. A person who is satisfied with what comes on its own accord, unaffected by the pair of opposites, and free of malice, equiposed when faced with success or failure, is not bound. Established in a transcendental state, when a person offers all actions to the Supreme in the spirit of sacrifice, he is free from karma bandhana. Having discussed selfless action in great detail, the Lord then explains about sacrifices to Arjuna. In the 24th shloka, Lord Krishna tells that the ladle, the ingredients such as ghee, grains offered as oblation in homa, the homa Agni itself, the karta, are all Brahman. The karma yogi who performs selfless actions, which is also Brahman, reaches Brahman as his destination. The next few shlokas we will cover in the next video will provide insights on sacrifices. Thank you.